How do I transition that energy from something that's destructive to something that's creative? And it's still in me. It never left. It's just I transitioned it.
You move the energy from that negative source to that positive source.
Indeed.
So with that being said, because the rise, I call it the rise of Black OC, was from 2017 to where we're at now, to where you get recognized by the city. You made a very proclaimed classic documentary that's really highlighted 2020. Not George Floyd. I don't want to just cheapen it with, it highlighted George Floyd. 2020, you made a document that captivated what we were thinking and how we want to respond, and you were able to make it so translucent to where it went from Minnesota to where we are here now. And one of the things that really touched me was like, okay, I called you one time. I said, bro, we had a talk. I was like, do you get the same negative energy I get when you ain't doing enough and you ain't doing this? Because I tell people, everybody gonna poke at us. You're not doing this. You don't do this. Well, won't you do it? Show me what I'm not doing, and they get quiet. And so what I want to go on is, we know you're successful, Black OC. You know you're successful when someone calls you what you created. You feel me? I think something that we all try to get synonymous with is like Microsoft, Bill Gates, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Tesla, Ferin Kidd, Black OC. But what was that journey like? All that popularity, what was the journey like in your personal life, as a Black man, as a son, as a part of the community? No matter if you're negative energy, you're part of the community. How was that for you?
You mean since 2017 or just in general?
2017 to now, just for Black OC. We talking about that.
I think my goal, bro, has been to come and to tap in with the community. I was gone for 10.5 years. So I'm back, and I know that there's a generation that remembers me. There's some niggas that know me out of my generation, even though a lot of my time still was spent locked up. So, some motherfuckers that was locked up with me at the time, they know then. Some people that was on the streets with me, they know. But I know that there's also been a whole, 10.5 years is a long time in the street time. That's a lot. That's every 2 or 3 years is a new generation.
That's 2.5 generations.
Right?
That's 2.5 generations.
And so coming back, it's tapping back in, but the one thing that I did not want to do was tap back in with niggas that I already knew, because I didn't want nobody calling me Enzo. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want nobody interacting with me based on who I was. I wanted to be Ferin Kidd, and I wanted a brand new opportunity to be who I've become today. And also that I don't know, because motherfucker you turn to a prophet in prison. But you can come back out, nigga. Everybody talk good in prison.
Let's talk about the prison talk, since you brought it up. 10 years, I did about 9. So we had different setups, because I go in as a gang member. I'm gonna come out as a gang member. What year did you find that moment where you said, that's what I want? What was your year?
So I think like I said, I got introduced to Islam on the street. I started practicing Islam on the street.
So you did get that on the streets?
Yeah, I got that on the street.
Okay. So that's better than most. Some of you niggas find it in there. Stop playing. Y'all know.
Yeah, no, I found that. That's where a lot of my militants, like, they like, nah, we fight for God. I'm like, nigga, fuck the police. I fight for God now. So but then going in, it was like, all right, let me actually read this book. I was reading on the street, but my attention span at 19 years old is still only so much.
The retention rate is not that good at that time, because we mature 25.
Yeah, and I'm smoking weed, reading the Quran. I'm looking for where it say war at. I'm not, I'm on that war.
So you digging what you want out of it.
Yeah, I'm piecemealing.
Okay.
So it's still it's a dirty version of Islam. Now I'm in there and I'm starting to realize, like, so I gotta be a good human being too. So early on, bro, when I caught the case, I really started early. I was already, it became early. So I'll say, bro, almost immediately going in there. But after my trial, I'm 21 now. I went to trial. I beat a triple life sentence. Okay. Alhamdulillah. And I basically, before my trial, before the verdict, I basically told God, I said, if you give me, a way out, I'll try my best to be a better version of me. You know, basically be the version of me I was before I lost my way. But if you send me up there for the rest of my life, I'll still try to be the best version of me. Now, granted, you know, at that young age, I still had a lot of misconceptions. I still had a lot of, you know, just immature young ways, you know. But I was dead serious, and just through going to prison, building with the brothers, it took me about till I was 25 to start interacting with people my age or younger again. So from like 21 to 25, I kicked it with brothers with salt and pepper drill. I kicked it with the older brothers.
So you went basically back to high school.
I went back to high school, and I got re-educated. It became a...
You de-learned and relearned. You unlearned and then relearned. Okay.
Yo, you know, black was the main thing we could say is there was a redefinition of what black is. That all that shit that's been passing for being black, brother, that's just the side of... That's a reaction to white supremacy. Your self-destructive mentality is a reaction to white supremacy.
Well, it's the result of white supremacy.
Yeah.
Because white supremacy, for people who don't know, is the miseducation of Negroes.
Yes, the miseducation of Negroes.
That is the result of white supremacy. So y'all who don't know, that's the miseducation of Negroes is them. It's not a physical. People think white supremacy is a physical thing. It's not. It's an economical, political, destructive mechanism to have our brains thinking we lesser than what we are, to demasculate us, to just make us docile. So,
yeah, all that shit.
Yeah.
So then I began relearning, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, reading the history, you know what I'm saying? Getting the knowledge of self, you know what I mean? Learning ethics and discipline from Islamic structure, you know what I'm saying? And redefining, and then remembering my power. Like, I have always felt like a powerful individual. I just expressed that power in ways that disempowered me and disempowered other people. Now it's about figuring out how to utilize that same sense of power for positive things. So, you know, I just kept building, and I did that all through the penitentiary until I paroled in January 2017 at 31 years old. Bam! And the first thing I did was I took my $200 gate card and I took the money up out of there, and I utilized it to formulate a corporation, a company, which is called Black OC.
Hold that thought, right? We're gonna switch it up a little bit. Okay. Hold that thought, because we're gonna go from when you took the gate money. It's called gate money. Like, I know about that. Pick a number between 1 through 5.
Okay.
What is it?
3.
Hold on one second right now. So we're gonna do everything's good, Jamal. We're gonna go 3. So what I'm doing, I'm behind the camera. He's waiting right there. I'm gonna pick 3 books, Jamal, that we read, and this is my book set. It's gonna get bigger, that we've read in prison, and these help black men in prison.
Indeed.
And I'm gonna see which one's his favorite. So I'm gonna pick the 3. He's gonna know all these books. Then they right. Dang. Okay. I got the 3. I got the 3. So these are the 3 choices. Malcolm X, by any means necessary. Malcolm X. These are speeches and here's that. We got that. Blood in My Eye by George Jackson. If you don't know about this book, another one by George Jackson, solid ad. So we don't have which one?
Yeah, I already got
you in the hole. You in the hole, right? For 2 months. You only have 1 book. What book is it?
So I'll say like this. This is I think so. I got to say it like this, right? Because it's almost kind of not difficult for the reason a person might think I say difficult, right? But so this book right here, right?
I knew you were gonna go with that one.
Yeah, this book, you know, George. Well, I would say if I'm giving it to somebody, like I'm introducing a youngster, right? I'm gonna introduce a youngster by any means necessary with Malcolm.
Okay.
Right.
So this is what we're gonna get Jamal, because Jamal's first time in prison. He's scared.
Yeah.
He a little.
We're gonna get you there. You know, that's gonna give you your warm-up introduction to, you know what I'm saying, your black empowerment, your militancy, your black consciousness, all those things, you know what I'm saying? But George is gonna give you a die-hard love for your people, that is it's going to make you not only want to stop fighting and destroying your people, but it's going to make you want to fight and to destroy people who are fighting and destroying your peoples. It always has been a challenge for me to get through this book, because at every interval that I'm reading, it results in tears shed, it results in anger, and it results in such a fierce revolutionary spirit that sometimes it became hard for me to even come out my cell and look at what's going on, because I understand it with such a clarity and such a fierce passion that I almost sometimes would feel volatile and self-destructive, you know what I'm saying? But definitely, you know what I'm saying, this is the, you know, this is for the big boys, and this is, you know, only when you a big boy. You start them out with that, and when you worthy, you know what I'm saying?
The crazy thing about this book, a lot of people don't get, right, is it's very emotional, because it talks about capitalism, reformism, fascism, a lot of stuff that's going on today, paramilitarism, a lot of things you guys see with them when 2020, was it 2020? COVID? Yeah. Oh, when they brought the National Guard to LA. This is what it was talking about when we were protesting for George Floyd, what they was doing. He talked about that in here. It was already there. So not to get too far from what we're talking about, it's a song by Tupac. All he wanted to be was a soldier. A lot of people don't know they're talking about Jonathan Jackson, George Jackson's brother, who tried to free George Jackson from court. And they got killed. They killed the judge. So a lot of people don't know.
We talking about Shorty want to be a thug?
No, off of see, that's why we, and I use this as a reason to grab my new iPad I bought for Father's Day for myself. So what we're gonna do? I think it's off of. Okay, I don't know how to use this. Please bear with me. How do you use this?
Press the whole button.
I'm pressing the fuck.
She on here.
Hey Siri, look up Tupac Apocalypse Now album.
Looking for Tupac Apocalypse Now.
Look how technology has came.
Jonathan Jackson.
So, bro, I just use this. Come on. So we're gonna skip this. But
it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. That's
but this is technology, but we have those. So we'll go. What I'm saying basically, that book when it was introduced. Okay, so who introduced you to the book? That's a good question.
So one of my greatest mentors, which was one of my earliest cellies, when I got to prison, a brother named Enoch, he was doing a life sentence for a murder.
Okay.
He introduced me to quite a few like that. I credit him kind of like my daddy. Like that's the brother that caught me early and really helped me to like just perfect my character as a young man. He's the brother who gave me blood in my eye.
Okay.
He introduced me to George.
What was your feelings on George? And a lot of people know George was the defense minister of the Black Panther Party. He also sent a lot of writings to Huey and Bobby Seale to help them militarize. A lot of people know that black militants were really militarized in a peaceful manner. We just, our rights, we bared arms. You know, and a lot of people don't know that.
I love George, and I remember watching the documentary of George and seeing some of the things that he was talking, and I remember looking in his eye one day and feeling like I relate to the look in his eye, feeling like he's containing an explosive nature. And that's how black people should feel. We're in a war. You know what I'm saying? And he's very disciplined, so he's doing his best job at containing volatility. You know what I'm saying? And I love George. You know what I'm saying? To this day, I love George.
It's called Soldier Story. My bad. It's called Soldier Story on Tupac Apocalypse Now. Okay. It's a song about George Jackson, brother Jonathan Jackson. And for a lot of people who don't know, Tupac is basically a derivative, a direct descendant of the Panther Party from Mutulu Shakur, who was his stepfather, his mom, Afeni Shakur, Geronimo Pratt being his godfather, and him being, around, his mom being around the Fred Hamptons and all that. So that's why in our bracket, when we was kids, we hung on so close to Pac, because that was, you know what I'm saying? And if you a gang member to now, you might not know you're a bastard of the party.
A bastard of the party. As
a Crip, I'm a bastard of the party, especially Crips and Bloods, because that was direct descendants of Black Panthers.
Indeed.
Community revolution and progress was the whole template. Like, we really here to protect our community. In the book I got coming, Blue Rage Black Redemption, that's one of my books that it spoke to me on a Crip level, because when I was a kid, being a Crip was to be like Tookie. We got our size up, we long hair. The definition of Crippin was Tookie. You know, and it's crazy how it took a toll, because we talked about this earlier. For us, Crippin went from Tookie to Big U to Nip. And not to skip over him, but let me just back up. I will put, after Big U, in between that and Nip was Snoop. But the only reason it's kind of like a bridge is because when Snoop came out, he wasn't overly Crippin on Death Row, on the Chronic in his first one. But when he left, that was, okay, Uncle Snoop, that's the big homie. But Nip, from the beginning to, you know, his assassination, it was that. So I always respected you for, and I didn't know if you did or didn't, I just respected the fact that your foundation was not a Nip template, but it was like a homage, a respect to Nip. And my homies and people go, man, hey, yo, you doing stuff for Nip? Yo, I said, because it's the only person I ever was introduced to who had the same story as me. I'm a Crip on the block of my homies, and I'm trying to change this community around us. And I'm not going to give up my principles, my core values, and my morals with this Crippin'. I'm going to stand on this Crippin', but I'm going to do better for my community. But I'm not going to throw it in your face. Oh, I'm so-and-so. Nah, bro, you know where I'm from, bro. And it's, I'm going to still mess with amigos, and as long as it's respectful.
I wish I would have had that. That's what I wish I would have seen growing up, as opposed to just evil templates. I remember being young and feeling like black people were cold. I remember being around black folks and feeling like, man, they feel so cold sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And I just wish that I would have had greater examples of just positive black militancy while still with the gang, like, you know, because we still, that all come, like you said, gangs come out of black militant organizations.
That's for me, and a lot of people don't know because I'm really open about this, is how I got introduced to the Crip and to the Street King was, I was a kid, I grew up in a Crip project in Texas. So you was from the project, you was Crippin' regardless. But when we touched down in Orange County in 92, originally, and I went back and came back in 95, 92, my mom only dated Crips. Niggas fresh from the pen. So when she was dating her husband, who was from 107 Hoover, we got to go over there. They already know, man, where he from. I'm already acting like I'm from Watergate, so it's like, man, and it's a Watergate right around there, 11-9 off Crenshaw Imperial, so they like, he went in. I'm already fighting. When she started dating a nigga, Big Gigi from Grave Street, I'm in the Jordan Downs, nigga, in 90s, 96, 97. I'm in there like, oh, this is Crippin'. So, but the Crippin' I seen was they barbecuing, they showing love, and we don't mess with them, but it's hood. And even when I really started being from Watergate, it was a different time back then because we beefed amongst each other, but it was also Watergate or nothing, nigga. I can make a mistake right now and call my homies. They gonna be on my motherfucking side. We having barbecues. We got business. We got the Black History Parade. We finna be over here. This is OC is ours, but we from Santa Ana, and it was different for me because, bro, I was from Anaheim. I used to have to catch the bus all the way to Santa Ana, like at cool. You know, and then when they migrated more to Anaheim, that's when it was like, okay, bam. And I already had in my mind, this one I'm gonna do.
I think when I was growing up, when I think of Black OC, I think of Watergate. I feel like Watergate was Black OC. If you were black, you was growing up, and you looking for your cultural identity, the most prominent thing that you had available to you was Watergate.
And I'm not saying that because that's where I'm from, but I'm saying is we gave culture. We pop locked, we danced, we showed you, he was a graffiti artist, he started this, he knew Michael Jackson, he wrote for, we had BH, we had all these people, said Robert Joyce who played for the Dallas Mavericks. We had people that was there.
Now, and for me, the only reason why I didn't choose Watergate was because of growing up as a young one, was my relationship with the Barnes family. And not feeling like I could do that. But
I understand it because for me, that was when I came to Orange County and I asked where the niggas was. I was living on Palma Vista, Catella Euclid. The whole Bell family was right there. Me and my cousin Pop and Rap, we had been on Maureen, then we moved to Palma Vista. That's the only one I knew. And they was already from where they was from. They had already created RBP, but I'm like, nah, cousin, I know where I'm set. And Ricky and Lamont, Carrie, Bogart, all of them. I'm like, oh yeah, this. Then I met everybody else. Oh yeah, this it's an easy call. And it's like you said, but even my cousin K Swiss, he's from Dirty Mac. My cousin Midnight was from PLC. My other cousin is from RVP. So I'm like, that's what got my mental. Like, I fuck with everybody, bro. I'm not gonna, because it's, bro. It was. I feel like late 90s, 2000s was a black Mecca in OC, and they did what they always do. They used the laws against us to get rid of them.
Oh yeah, and that was hard times.
Hard times. Them niggas was getting cases left and right.
Marijuana was hella illegal. 3 strikes you out was for sure. You know what I'm saying? Gang injunction, gang term, all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bro. And being black in Orange County, you just already standing out.
You a
so you're a target. If
walking down the street, you're a target. Compared to South Central.
Yeah. I used to love going to Long Beach because I felt like I was just part of the scenery.
Keep it real. Let's talk about Long Beach, right? Because Long Beach is an LA city that's closest to us. That is like urban, ghetto shit like that. Because Cerritos and Bellflower, it's like, still kind of like...
It's there, but it ain't like that, though, yeah.
Remember in the late 90s or 2000s where Long Beach was like... It felt like an extended part of OC.
Yes.
Because there was so many Long Beach niggas out here. And when we went out there, when you said you was from Orange County, you from San Antonio, you from Anaheim, they knew.
Yep.
Especially with Warren G saying...
Baby 20s out here. One of my co-partners was insane.
Like, shout out to my niggas from Insane. Also, my niggas from 20s, and my niggas from 2 Wins, from Boulevards. All my niggas from 4 Corner Blocks. You feel me? I fuck with them all. So it felt like because when you went to Long Beach, they said, you from San Antonio? You from Watergate? You from Anaheim? You from Del Monte? They knew. Because they interacted, and our culture was the same. If you really break down Long Beach culture, Jamal, it's like this. They skate. They wear the skinnies. They listen to rock, punk, ska. Even if you break down Sublime, if you break down No Doubt, that was that crossover.
Yeah, Long Beach. I still think that's why I love Long Beach so much, is because even though you have heavy black communities, it's still very diverse communities as well. And so you still got thick black culture, but it's not culture. It's not like South Central or Watts where you it's all you got.
Yeah,
you might not even see no white faces. You could hit one block and it's all black. Hit another block, it's all brown. You can hit this block and it's white folks, black folk, and brown folks all together, and Asian folk all together.
And this is just all my white people from Long Beach. White boys from Long Beach are a little different. They not like how you get the Anaheim white boy. He know the script. That's how Long Beach white boys were like. They knew the script, and because Long Beach was like, see, nigga, we all had to go to Lakewood and Cerritos Mall to get clothes to holler at females. So that was it.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's a kindred relationship.
It's like a sister city or like a brotherly, and like a neighbor. Like
getting to do our next screening for Bang for Change is gonna be in Long Beach.
Man,
but that seems normal, like you're saying.
Yeah,
it seems like a regular progression.
Matter of fact, I was living on the north side for 2 years. 2 years. It was really the first time I ever lived outside of OC, except for Texas. It felt like I was from there.
Yeah, I still feel like I'm from Long Beach.
Yeah, it feel like it's like they make you feel like that, like, bro. Yeah, I'm from over here, bro. But so you come home, gate money,
Black OC.
You didn't know that you wasn't supposed to call you Page that, because now they're gonna call you that.
Yeah. So that's a big thing. People call me Black OC because I didn't know that I didn't even have an Instagram for the first almost year when I was out. I was developing a website, blackoc.com. And blackoc.com was going to be a virtual marketplace where black folks from Orange County can create profiles, whether they barbers, they artists, producers, photographer, videographer, stripper. I'm a regular nigga.
Strippers on blackoc.com?
It's cool. But who are you? Let's get to know who the fuck we are.
Yeah, fucking thug life, yeah.
And because I feel like that's what we lacking. We've had a community. We're working on excavating the history on that. You know what I'm saying? Santa Ana was the original Black OC. And which people affectionately refer to as a Little Texas neighborhood, because most of the black folks that came to Orange County in the early 60s was from Texas, and they got redlined. There was only one spot for us in the Santa Ana, which is how you get the Water Gauge, how you get the Bloodales and the Shelleys.
That's crazy. Me and BH was just talking about that.
Yeah, so that's the history, you know what I'm saying? But I figure since we don't have a community, we don't have a commercial space, we can create a virtual space because we know we here.
We here. We gotta galvanize it though.
Right, boom, we gotta pull each other in, and now we have this shit called internet, which basically came out when I was locked up.
Social media.
The internet was still, I don't even know what the fuck internet was.
Yeah. Back then, internet probably was MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace had just came, and niggas didn't.
Twitter was out, but I didn't fuck with Twitter.
I was too gangsta already for MySpace.
I think I was on Black Planet because I was a low key perv.
I think I was on that one, right? So now it's bringing that concept to like, okay, we have a community here. Let's galvanize this.
Yeah.
So I started like that, and the website's down now. It was actually dope as fuck. I went to look at it the other day.
Why don't you bring it back up?
I will, but I was paying a web developer to host it,
mm-hmm.
and it's been so many years, and it's down now. I looked the other day, but so the first thing I came out that I was learning was web development.
Mm-hmm.
But then my mom's was like, there's some shit called social media, and I'm gonna get a camera, I need content, so will you learn how to use it? So I'm like, fuck it, I'll try, you know what I'm saying? So she got me a camera, I started, and it was like, I gotta learn how to use a camera and all the editing programs.
What year was that?
That's 2017. Or learn website development.
I wanna highlight something. Because there's a lot of people out there that shoot videos,
mm-hmm.
do blogs, do podcasts. I'm a podcaster.
Mm-hmm.
This man had never touched a fucking camera. 2017, he say, Moms, this is what I'm about to do. Mm-hmm. Check that, I'm about to put pressure on these niggas.
Mm-hmm.
And by 2020,
mm-hmm.
he has an award-winning documentary that's
Indeed.
going to end up on Hulu, Netflix,
mm-hmm.
Roku, all the shit y'all like, Amazon Prime. And it's cinematic. It's riveting. Mm-hmm. I'm using big words that I used to read in the dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
So
No.
But it's that.
Yeah.
It's a legit documentary with narration,
Mm-hmm.
the graphics, the editing. He didn't cheat you like I would have cheated your ass.
Mm-hmm.
I would have cheated your ass. I would put some templates on that bitch and
yeah.
But this man flew
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of the you niggas don't even understand. Let me help you. It's 2020.
Mm-hmm.
No flights, COVID.
Mm-hmm.
COVID.
Mm-hmm.
In what is called a heat zone / war zone with martial law.
Mm-hmm.
To document. Now I'm not gonna lie, this is some white people shit. Cause y'all know every documentation that we got that's been like in Bosnia and all that shit was white people. We're gonna get the information.
And mind you, they have motherfucking whole teams. They'll have a motherfucker with a camera. They'll have a motherfucker with some lights.
Security.
They'll have a motherfucker with security.
Ex-CIA, ex-Ranger, all that shit to get them through where they need to go. This nigga went by himself. And to keep it 100, because
with a black OC hat on and a black OC shirt on.
And funded by other people that believed in him.
Mm-hmm. The town.
OC.
Mm-hmm.
The black OC.
Yep.
And the reason why I say that, I'm not knowing what this nigga doing. I'm just reaching out to my brother. I said, listen, the county told me I need to have a rally. You need to be there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in Minnesota. Where the fuck? What are you doing out there, nigga?
Yeah.
But I'm going to be back that day.
Mm-hmm.
And when I land, I'm going to come straight to you.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, he came straight there. Mm-hmm. Stole the show low key, but I don't care.
Yeah.
That's what he was there for.
Yeah.
Because we've always been like a Shaq Kobe type thing. Like, let him be and I'll be the. But people don't understand that you sacrificing your personal life for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do, like Jamal does.
Mm-hmm.
When you black and you try to create something new, you have to sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So you said 2017, which was actually a good year if you think about everything in totality. Nip was still here, Kobe was still here. We had that, and a lot of people don't understand what I'm saying is Nip was doing great things in the community.
Yeah.
So was Kobe, and we were actually gaining traction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no shock to me that these people were taken from us at this time. You pick up a camera, a very decent camera, and before we go past that, if you don't mind, tell the story, the camera story.
Which one? What?
It was in the car. The camera you bought offline, it's in the car.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
I don't mind. So I had been out, right? So I got my studios in Fullerton, and it's has activities that go on over there regularly. And so there was an incident where somebody came over there completely unrelated to the shit that we had going on, and they decided that they wanted to pull that. You know what I'm saying? And I read the situation, you know, early. Like, that's not new to me. But before that, I was trying coming home. I'm still on parole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying coming home not to pick up weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I'm like, even though as a black man, I do feel the urge all the time. I never feel safe. I don't ever feel, even coming up over here, but I knew, like, I'm gonna take the paradigm out of my mental. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? But there be thoughts.
I'm the only black person over here.
There be thoughts though, like, they just.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you noticed when you just pulled up, like.
Yeah. But I mean, just
houses across the street.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I don't ever feel safe.
Yeah, it's a survival mechanism.
Yeah.
Real quick, if you ever gotta leave, you can just go. As long as the thing is running, but we're good.
It's
Okay.
that PTSD. You know what I'm saying?
For
So
sure.
it's like so, you know. But I was trying not to pick up guns, but somebody came, and that was kind of like the last draw. They came to the studio with the glamour, and so I'm like, all right, I'm finna do that. So I reach out to my partner, and my partner comes. He's like, I got you. You know, he bring me a clean Glock. You know what I'm saying? He bring me the bag of bullets, and he like, I got hollow, and I got these ones. What you want? I'm like, nigga, I don't want the hollows. You know, I ain't trying. It's not to bust the popo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
just finna go get
I'm
our
just-
shit back. Yeah.
I gotta just right, and so I get it. And that night, bro, I live in a relatively safe community. You know what I'm saying? And they got gates around it. You know what I'm saying? And I go home, and I leave my camera. I'm moving fast, and I just don't feel like grabbing my camera. And it's in my gimbal. It's in the backseat of the car. So I'm like, man, it's cool right here. You know what I'm saying? It's safe. You know.
Sanctuary is home. That's where you feel safe.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just don't. There's just not a high crime. It's not. You don't think nothing like that. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna leave my camera in the car, and I throw I throw a pillow over it. You can't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like I put something over it, and I lock the door, and I'm gone. And the next morning when I come down, I'm gonna get ready to go to a shoot. My car's still locked. I don't know how they did it, but my camera and my gimbal, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I always got good at like feeling like I say all the time I talk to God. God told me, but it's in my thoughts. But I hear one of my homies' rap lines come into my mind instantly, and he said, it says, my homies got that tools. Yeah, I get that life, but I ain't about that life. I'd rather treat this life like a school or something like that. And it feels like the communication to me is like, there's God telling me there's two metals. They both shoot.
They both shoot. What's in front of them?
Yeah. One destroys and one creates. You know, I'm not giving you two choices.
Pick one.
You get to live by one, but not by both.
Live by one, you're gonna die by the other.
Yeah. And so you got that Glock. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna take this camera because you want that. You don't want this. And so I hear it, I feel it. It's a very like, life-altering moment at this moment. It's my I need this. Like, this is my life. This is my tool.
This is what changed you. This is your meaning. This is your purpose. This is your baby. This is your creation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need this. That's a car, nigga. That shit is a camera. That's a nice camera with a nice lens, nigga, with a nice gimbal. That motherfucker car. That's a hoopty. You know what I'm saying?
That's a G-Ride.
Yeah, nigga, that's probably almost between $35 and maybe $4,500.
But you don't. A lot of people understand that. That passion, that feel, that this is mine. This is what I do to create. This is my like, to me, that over there, that's what that is.
Yeah.
If I lose that, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go back to my old ways.
Yeah, right. So I called my boy and I tell him, man, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? We paid the money and all that. I said, I'm sorry, bro. Like, and he felt me. He like, because he kind of told me too when he was like, bro, I kind of feel bad giving you this because you're doing so much good things. I don't want you to do nothing to fuck up what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm like, nah, bro, you know what I'm saying? And he, you know, so he like, no, don't trip, bro. Just slide me the bread, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to give you the bread back, slide that up over here, you know what I'm saying? And we're good. And so I give it back to him. And it's about a week go by, bro. I need the bread anyways, because I'm like, man, I got to try to find a new camera, you know what I'm saying? And it obviously ain't going to be the same. But I go to offer up to find something else. I'm looking for something completely different. I don't even know what the fuck I'm on there for. And something tells me just look at cameras. And I go and I look up cameras and I see a camera model just like mine and it's for the low. And I'm like, ooh, I better get that motherfucker because you ain't never gonna find my camera model at that price range again. And so I click on it, I'm ready to send this through the message. And then I look and I see a little piece on the camera and I'm like, that kind of look like my little piece on the camera. Then I hit his other slide and it got a separate, selling the land separate. And I'm like, well, that look like that look like the kind of lands that I had though. Then I look, he had just sold a gimbal and I'm like, that's my motherfucking gimbal. This nigga got my whole setup.
Oh, niggas think they clever. Niggas, okay.
So
niggas is crafty.
I hit him with the boom, check this out. Hey man, if I give you, I don't got the asking price. You got a willing deal to make it. Like, I ain't got the asking price, bro. I'm $50 short, but I got the cash right now. I can bring it to you, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Could we get it? I'm about to get my shit back. And I called my boy with the thing. And I'm like, brother, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna need that for this trip I'm gonna make. Because I'm for sure, like, you know, it's a situation, you know what I mean? And he like, I'm in LA right now, and I can't get back that way right now, but tomorrow we can go get it. And I'm like, I don't think at his asking price, this thing is gonna survive the night. Mm-hmm. Like, the gimbal already got sold in 1 hour. I need to get this motherfucker right now, because it ain't gonna be there in the morning. Because he asking for the low. Like, anyone who know that I better get this thing.
If you're in that field, you know that this is actually a come up.
So I called one of my other homies out here, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and I tell him the situation, and bro was like, all right, bro, I'm gonna go with you. He ain't nigga, we all know who he is out here, you know what I'm saying?
No need.
Yeah. And he like, bro, I'm gonna go with you. He said, but I said, I'm with it. He said, but I do need you to do something. I need you to file a police report. And I kind of like really talk to the popo, like.
Yeah, but I get where he's going.
No, but I'm like, I need that company. Because I'm about to walk into, I don't know what situation I'm about to walk into. And that's my bro. And bro, he already locked in, like, nigga, I'm going with you, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, all right, bro. He said, we just need that in case shit go down. When we go to court, we need something to defer back to. So I'm like, all right, for sure. So I call them. They come out to the house. And they you know, I tell them what the deal is. And they like, so you're going to press charges? And I said, I'm really not. I said, no, I ain't pressing no charges. I'm not comfortable with that. I said, I've been, you know, through this situation myself. I don't want to take nobody from their space. I just want to be able to safely retrieve my property. It's my property. I can prove it's my property. I just need to make sure that I'm not in a situation where something's done to me, or if something tries to be done to me, I do something that now I'm sitting in the box because I done did something to somebody.
Now, I want to explain to people how easy that is.
Indeed.
To say something was taken from me, I don't know who, I'm not pressing charges, I'm just making this police report to keep me safe. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, so-and-so took it, so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. Mm-hmm. It's so easy just to say, listen, I'm following these steps that y'all done put these guidelines so I can do. So go ahead.
Because I have a right to my own property as a human being.
And as an American citizen.
Yeah, that's my constitutional right.
And if you can prove that is your possessions, you have every right to go take it back by any means.
By any means. So if I go get in my shit and it turned to a whole situation, and I find myself in the courtroom and they go, well, you got into a tussle, and I'm crafty. I don't need a gun.
Yeah. We can finesse the situation.
Yeah, I can probably go a lot of different ways based on whatever's in my situation. And if it's really, I feel that threatened, I'm still trying to make it home. Mm-hmm. So whatever I have to do.
He don't know where the restroom at.
Is you know where it's at now.
You know where
it's one of them doors.
It's one of them doors.
You know, but so I call them and they tell me, they say, well, if you're not willing to press charges, then you're wasting our time.
And that's what they want you to do. For people who don't understand is, they want to put you in that trick bag. Oh. They want to say, oh, well, who is it? And if you was white or richer, no worries, sir. We'll take care of this.
Indeed.
Go ahead.
So he tells me basically, if you're not willing to press charges, then we're not gonna touch it. And that's my answer right there between me. Now I'm talking to God now. So okay, I tried that. You know what I'm saying? I know it's reported. He had to file some kind of incident report coming out. So I make sure I know who his name is and all that. I let my boy know. And he's like, okay, we did the best we could do in the situation. So we slide out there, and I get out there, and my camera has a name in it, Black OC. My camera has its name. So I get up there, you know what I'm saying, and it's a big ass whiteboard, you know, like it's in they feeling kind of weird. I pull up first. I come up first. It's him and his homie, and then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, my nigga come. He's like yo side, you know what I'm saying. He a big brother, so he pull up. So they start getting on edge, right? But I go, can I see it real fast? He's like, yeah. He didn't have a battery in it, and I know he didn't have a. We had a battery, but it died, and I know that because it died shooting Unspoken Views. I had just shot a video with her. I never got the SD card back with the video, but you know, he told me before, he's like, hey man, the battery's dead. I said, don't trip, brother, I got a battery for it, you know what I'm saying? You know, so I pop it in there, I turn on the camera, and it say, I said, man, you see what that say? He say, yeah. I said, what that say? He say, Black OC.
Yeah.
And I show him my Instagram. I say, you see what that say? He said, yeah. He said, Black OC. I got the camera in my hand. I take that step back. Boom. So now we had it real. I said, brother, I'm not saying that you took this camera, because I'm still trying to figure out the future. I said, bro, I ain't saying you took this camera, but a week ago this camera was stolen from my vehicle. This is my camera, and I'm leaving here with it today. And bro instantly just throw his hands up and say, let me tell you how I got this camera. You see that house? You see that house over there? He said, that dude went to jail yesterday. You see that trash can over there? You see all that stuff in there? His girl came today, took all the stuff out of that spot, threw it in there. I walked over there just because it's a bunch of shit, pulled out a camera and the thing on the thing, and didn't know how to, you know, he went to jail, you know, she gone. I don't know how to get this back to nobody. So fucking nigga, I came up. I'm gonna sell the shit.
That's what I would have did.
Yeah, right.
I would have did the same shit.
But if that's your camera, I'm glad that it made it back to who it belonged to. Absolutely, brother. And so I got my camera back.
I want to touch on something that relates to that. And it might not directly relate, but it's what I believe in. So you talked about Islam earlier. I was raised Christian, Baptist, Southern Baptist Christian. I didn't see the benefits in that, especially with slavery and how people have treated us. And my Amy, who raised me in Texas, spent her whole life till she died of, you know, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all that, dialysis. Every Sunday giving, we didn't have shit. I wore Payless, XJ900s, nigga.
Yeah, no.
Then I kind of was like lawless. I didn't really believe in God. I believe in cricket. I got a tattoo right here. It's Jiminy Cricket, throw it up to sea with the tech.
Damn.
And nobody understand what that meant was Jiminy Cricket was Pinocchio's conscience. So to me that was cripping over everything, crip or die. That's what that meant. And in prison, a lot of the Muslim brothers seen something different in me. They're like, oh, Islam. And like I told you, I kind of identified with it because it was our original religion. But then it was like, it didn't register because the ideology. It's different kind of Muslims. It's not white. So then I had this epiphany of spirituality. And a lot of people understand, like when bro came in, it was the incense, sage.
Yeah, it felt good in here.
It felt the energy, and I realized, okay, I'm really religious. I'm not being spiritual. I'm not religious.
Indeed.
So what I believe in is karma and energy.
Absolutely.
And the reason your situation happened because, like you said, you put down one metal to pick up another metal, and the energy, the universe or God. And I believe it's God because God created the universe, and it works in His favor. So same thing. Said it's gonna come back to you. Not how you want it. It's not gonna be in your front door, but it's gonna test you. Like Nip said, God gonna bless you, then He gonna test you. The game gonna test you. Never fold. And you didn't fold because you could have been over there like, look, check me. You don't give me this motherfucking camera, or you know where it's gonna go. You said, listen, man, this is me. That's what's on the camera. What's up? And the universe told him, bro, that's his. You see it. So, reason why I asked you to show that. And it's, what we're talking about different than what you normally talk about is I feel like people just think you had this easy ride and that you just this community activist who's just barking all these promises and all these things and don't know that you just like me. Is just the fact that I'm very upfront with mine. It's like, look, stop playing with me because I thrive off respect. I thrive off, bro, I don't care about, I'm a community activist. I'm going to help the community regardless. But you're going to respect me as a black man today. You're not going to play with my name. You're not going to play with my culture. You're not going to play with my people. And I don't think people understand that with you. They think it's like, I don't think they think they know you negative or like you soft. I just think they think, oh, he's just one of these politicians or one of these people saying something. When you actually have something that you're trying to do for everyone, especially people of color. And where's the unity flag? Let me see.
Oh, yeah. We'll get the fresh one right here.
When did you create that?
I created this in February of last year, before COVID happened.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, before George, before all that, you know what I'm saying? And I did it because, you know, we say Black OC, versus I'm representing who I am and my geographical location. My racial identity and I'm mixed, I'm black and white, but a nigga ain't gonna walk around and go, I'm white. That's not, white people can't even see that, you know what I'm saying? So we ain't doing that, but you know what I'm saying? I wanted to, I'm about everybody, you know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely about who I am too, but I wanted to create something that represented everybody. And so, you know, obviously, and I said I'm a positive social gang member. That's literally like, I would use that title to refer to who I am. It's taking gang energy, destructive energy, and transitioning it into creative energy, which just go back to Malcolm, which go back to George, which go back to Jonathan.
That.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
highlight that. Let's
them the OGs, you know what I'm saying? That's original gangster shit. So I just learned original gangster shit, you know what I'm saying? But we know we associate the bandanas
with gang culture, because it represents where you from. So
I say that, you know, we gonna bang
black
for black people, the brown for brown people, the beige for others, whether they're Asian, Middle Eastern, Islander, etc. And the white, emphatically don't represent white national supremacists, but the allies who we've all had, right, who support the rest of the human family. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas like Outkast, and niggas like Powder. You know what I'm saying? That them was our niggas too. You know what I'm saying?
And crazy thing about Powder, Outkast, and Slick Rick, bro, I would never put them right here. I would put them in the black side. You know why?
Absolutely.
It's because I never looked at their skin. I looked at their actions and what they represent.
Indeed.
Especially with just cripping.
Indeed. But I just say that to say acknowledging that reality.
You know why I did that? Because they had it worse than anybody. They had to touch a yard in a jail cell saying, I'm a white crip and I'm gonna fight all y'all because I'm gonna be over here with the niggas.
I think,
you know how hard that is.
You know, Outkast hit the yard, went to I was at Unheard in the 3. We were supposed to get out. We was in vocation, so we were behind the yard, and we were supposed to get let out first to get back to the yard, which you always want to because you want to be able to get the shower and all that. And it was our day to get released first, and they didn't release us first. They started with the other part of the vocation, which them motherfuckers, they was first yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was in there hot. And Outkast had just got to the yard, and I remember the night before, he came the night before, and there were already whispers, like, you know, so it's making its rounds. But I didn't know who it was yet. They was just like, yeah, there's a white crip on the yard. It looked like the white boys kind of tripping, but you know, whatever. Slide over there. They don't let us out. By the time they get ready to let my class out, I'm ready to go through work change, and boom, 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 start hearing it. The yard's up. And they end up having a riot between the white boys trying to attack Outkast on the yard.
Yeah.
Dice, there was another white boy, Dice. He got stabbed wherever he was at as a white boy on the yard. And so, yeah, absolutely. They've been, and Powder, I think when all that Powder was in Corcoran, and you got to be a hard-ass white boy to be able to be on GP at Corcoran.
At Corcoran.
With the brothers.
Because
a
lot of people don't know about Corcoran. It's called the Green Wall. This is back in the 90s and 80s when they were having the fight matches against other prisoners, guards and stuff. So I just literally hit Outkast in his DM, see if he answered. I'm gonna call him. But that's great. That's beautiful. Black OC's up there. You changed.
And so let me say some
documentary.
So okay, documentary. Yeah. So okay, go ahead. We still wrong.
You know, we still wrong, but I want you to tell them the real. After the documentary, and I told them they should go to Netflix, but the documentary is finna take off on its own. We got showings. You did a showing. Matter of fact, my bad. Minneapolis. The documentary. The 1-year anniversary. George Floyd family, his friends, his homies, the soil which he repped. How was that?
So it's
emotional.
Yeah, no, it's intense. So I think, you know, so I think it's a reflection of how I'll say this is a beautiful thing first, right? It's a powerful thing. But it's also a tragic thing, especially what I saw while I was there and what's happened since. A lot of stuff that the world doesn't really understand or know. So, one, I'll say this. So the first thing is when George Floyd died, and it went up out there, the city, in their wisdom, supposedly, saw fit to try to barricade the intersection where he died. They put like freeway center dividers on the street, on one side of the street, trying to control the flow of traffic, people using their cars to barricade police out and all that. And so what the community decided to do, respectively the gang members that are from that's the 30 Bloods, which are from which are in the area where he died at. That's like the center of the hood. Mm-hmm. Some of the gang members and the activist community members came together and said, fuck, y'all want to put down roadblocks to try to block us out? We're gonna take the other side of the street and blockade it too, and use military munition, mm-hmm. shoot y'all is up out of here to keep y'all up out the block. So now y'all put the roadblocks down to keep us from being able to block y'all from being out. We're gonna use those same barricades to keep y'all out. And it's lasted for over a year. Historically, it's known as the longest held autonomous zone, meaning police can't come through there, city workers can't come through there. In American history, 1 year they held that.
Okay, Jamal, you watch Snowfall?
Yeah.
You watch Snowfall?
I haven't seen it yet. I know of it.
Are you aware of the Contra War in Colombia and all that?
Yeah.
This is what they did. The government, CIA, mm-hmm. paramilitarizes certain areas to create a stronghold of things they want to go their way. How do they do that? They introduce drugs or guns. Mm-hmm. Simple as plain. Mm-hmm. And then you'll hear the politicians say there's a war on drugs, the war on guns. Mm-hmm. How does gang members have a military stronghold on a section without the police or the National Guard being called in to defuse that? Mm-hmm. So we have to understand what's really at play here. It's really the government saying, when we unite, black people starting to unite, defuse it, mm-hmm. Divide and conquer. So you see that, you do the screening, you with George Floyd's sister. Mm-hmm. Explain the emotional aspect of that.
So, George Floyd family, we reached out to them because we had everybody. We did the screening in Santa Ana. Okay. We put out a front page article on it in the Orange County Register. Shout out to Teresa Walker. You know what I'm saying? She definitely been banging the tribe.
Shout out Teresa Walker, OC Register.
Indeed.
Shout out.
And so we had everybody on Instagram tag the family, the George Floyd Memorial Foundation. They're originally from Texas.
Correct. That's why Stephen Jackson, him was close. H-Town, shout out.
Yeah, boom. So they say we love the trailer, we want to see it, but we're going to be busy during our time in Minneapolis. So can we schedule a time for a few weeks after once we settle down? So that's on its way. Absolutely. When we get there, we were able to make contact with the George Floyd Memorial Foundation, with the executive director, as well as George Floyd's sister, who's the founder. Okay. Give her a certificate of recognition from the city of Santa Ana. Let her know that we see her. We know the work that you're doing, that you're going to continue to do in honor of George Floyd. So that was dope. As far as screening the documentary, so the first thing I do when I get there is I'm a street nigga, so I want to tap in with the streets. Last time I just parachuted out, I dropped into the protest. I'm
the hot zone.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. By tapping with them, there was mixed emotions about the film. A lot of the mixed emotion came from the fact that they felt like they didn't see themselves represented in. And so it became a very it became a very intense conversation. You know what I'm saying? And
that's what that panel was about. I seen the panel.
Yeah. Okay. So the panel started off hella dope, and I'm gonna say it started off in the spirit of Bank for Change, because the first thing I did when I got out there, I hit the square. The church is out there, but they selling merchandise, so we go over there. You know what I'm saying? Talk to the church, buy some merchandise. The church though is divided from the gang members. Mm-hmm. So the church is on one side of the square, the gang members on another side of the square, and the community activists and organizers on another side of the square. Okay. And then George Floyd family ain't even doing their memorial anniversary at the square. They're doing it at a park in the downtown Minneapolis, in like a safe zone.
Okay.
So I start realizing, that, oh shit, we all divided.
We divided.
That same shit, right? So my first thing is, all right, I tap in with the church. That's safety. That's the first place that's gonna feel kind of welcoming. But the church is kind of the church.
The church has 2 layers to it.
Yeah. And we know that. So my next thing is like, I'm gonna tap in with the gang members. But when I first come up though, they see me. I it's not hard. Niggas look. You know what I'm saying? Then like I can see this is swooping through. There ain't supposed to be no cars in the square, but they drive their cars to the square.
Mm-hmm.
It's their hood.
It's their hood. They gonna do what they do. It's our section.
Yeah, so they boom, 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 and they them little sideways looks. You know what I'm saying? But it's all right, brother. You know what I'm saying? Black man. Okay, I see you. You see me. Whatever. You know what I mean? Boom. Over here. Okay, what's it? The church is like. Start getting intel. They like, man, we don't know about what they got going on. They're making a situation. People don't feel comfortable out here. And I definitely understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is sacred space. I just came in here to show love, and y'all niggas already got me feeling unsafe. How y'all looking at me and pulling up on me? Like, I don't feel like brother, what's going? Like, even if you checking me, like, what's going on, brother? How you doing, black man? Like, where you from? This is our hood right here. Like, nigga, greet me, welcome me. You know what I'm saying? Figure out who I am. But we ain't doing that. We doing the paranoid. You don't know who I am. I don't know who you are. So you gonna kind of like put I call like peacocking. You're gonna do a whole bunch of other shit to let me know that this is the business that you with. And then I'm gonna try to like downplay my energy and act like I don't even understand what you're doing. Because if I show you that I understand what you're doing, then you're gonna know that, that's what they're doing. They're looking for niggas like if I come through peacocking and then you know what that is, then I know you know what this is. But if I'm like some of the white tourists that come through here, you know what I'm saying, or non-black tourists, or even black tourists who come through here and kind of squared up,
more docile,
then you're gonna be like, okay, you're not with none of this activity. But so I'm trying to pretend like I don't know this, but I know that they read that I read though.
Mm-hmm.
So in any case, I leave, but the next day I get up early. I'm in my hotel room. The next day I get up early. My boy Dom will tell you, I left him sleep. I bust a solo mission, and I go right to they got a barbershop right there. So we know that's usually hub.
That's hub barbershop. Any hood is the hub.
Yeah. So I blast up in there, and boom. I need to get trimmed up anyways. So I'm like, yeah, bro, what's up? Boom, boom. So I sit down in the chair. Then I just, hey, bro, this is my name. This is where I'm from. This is what I'm doing out here right now. You know what I'm saying? So bro, listen to me. He an OG, and I see all the activities in the barbershop. They passing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They doing all that. They doing everything out. You know what I'm saying? They with all the activities. So, but I'm talking my bang for change shit. And mind you, bro, it ain't easy to talk about bang for change shit. It's not easy to tell black people like, what's up, bro? I'm out here on my militant tip. That shit is always can go one or it can go this way, or it can go that way. It can go like niggas is with Malcolm, or niggas would be like, niggas ain't trying to hear that shit. So fortunately in this case, OG respected it, and some of the youngsters that was coming through, there was one that was kind of like, he's not a youngster, but he kind of looked like he got a little bit, he don't got the full control of the youngsters, but
he got a little influence.
Yeah, boom. So he out here monitoring them today. So he called me like, hey, bro, listen to bro talking about.
Yeah, listen to the knowledge. One quick time, take a quick restroom break. You need your restroom? Anybody needs your restroom?
I'm good for a second.
I need the restroom, but that's crazy because that's how we really operate in tribalism. That's crazy.